things. Attach the tail boom assembly to the forward fuselage section. Okay, tail boom assembly,
yep.
Forward fuselage section.
Okay.
So let's go for it.
Do it.
Oh, look at that motor.
That looks, that's sexy, that is.
That's a babe, isn't it?
Ooh, that's a beastie, that one.
That is a beastie. Now, our plan here today is to build it and fly it.
Yeah.
The same day.
Well,
so what's the time now? 3 o'clock? Somewhere like that?
Yeah.
About 3 o'clock.
I don't think you're too far out, actually.
And we're planning to fly this evening. Okay. So there's a little bit. Oh look, steerable tail wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks good.
So we've got that part there, and that part there. Now, supposedly, oh look, we've got some wires here.
Yeah, they're always handy.
Dingle dongle wires. Now what they haven't done on this one is normally you get them labelled up.
Right.
With what the what channel it is or whatever. No labelling on there, so you just have to work that out after the event.
Of course, they look like JR leads against Futaba.
JR clones, yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll go in anything. Now, there's a little dowel there that's got to plug in.
Yeah. That's in.
Ooh.
Crikey.
Hey, look at that.
That's a nice precision fit.
It's a precision fit, isn't it? So, let's see what they say to screw it in with. Attach the tail boom to the forward fuselage section with two M4 by 90 and two M4 by 70 machine screws. So here are our nice screws. There's the 90mm ones, and there's the 70s. So, let's have another read, shall we? Yep, I think the 90s go in the back. So, don't put the 90s in the front. Lesson number 1. The 90s go in the rear, and the 70s go in the front.
Okay.
Now remember not to do this too tight.
Yeah. You don't want to strip your threads.
You don't want to strip your threads or knacker everything. And then longer ones in the back there. And of course, remember when you're doing this, not to push down on your mast and bend it, because that would be a disaster.
There she goes.
There she goes. Always make sure you get it in the hole.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you're a quarter-inch out, you may be in a shit. With a model like this, you don't want to be there.
I think that's going in.
Are they going into like a metal?
One would presume there's like a little plastic insert in there with a nut in it.
Yeah.
But we didn't look. And I'm not taking it apart again.
No.
It's certainly screwing into a proper thread.
Right.
Okay, so that is the boom assembly.
It's looking good already.
Connected. And what do they say next? Attach the aluminium landing gear to the fuselage with 4 M2 by 16 coarse thread screws.
Okay.
So here is our landing gear. I'm going to remove the protective plastic. Ka-ching! And we'll attach it to the aircraft. Now, They do actually show this going backwards.
Yeah, a lot of people have fallen foul of this.
I think it does go backwards on this one, strangely enough.
Yeah.
When I first saw the video, I thought, you know what, it looked better going forwards. But in every picture I've seen, they go backwards on this one.
Right, okay.
So that could just be a design feature.
Okay.
So, let's get that screwed on. Of course, if you had a big hole in your table, it'd be much easier to work on this.
And of course, it looks as though you have got a big hole in your table.
Yeah,
but
it's just not big enough.
No.
Now, it says there are 4 screws. Now, I happen to have 1, 2, 3.
Oh, under the screwdriver? No.
I happen to have 3 of one type and 2 of another.
Well,
There it is, it's on the floor.
Ah.
So these are, what length did they say? M2 by 16. Well, they look a bit bigger than M2, but they're going in.
Yep.
Now, I think the way to do this is to put it on your lap. Remember to get all the screws started before you tighten them up, just so you get it sort of aligned easily.
Yeah.
Bungus those other 2.
Yeah.
They're under the
instructions.
Under the instructions.
There you go. 2 screws.
Thank you. So this is how to build your Super G garden style, because we're building it in my garden.
Yeah. It's a very nice garden too.
I thought, well, as we've had so little sun this year,
Yeah.
why should we be indoors?
Yeah.
Right, once we get this on, we can actually stand the thing up.
Yeah, make it easier to work on.
Yeah. Certainly will, mate.
Actually, I'm quite surprised at the, well, it's Hobbyking, but on this particular case, the moulding is really nice.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has improved. And the way it slots together so far,
Yeah.
actually, is pretty good. So there it is. Our table isn't long enough to fit it on, but that is the undercarriage on.
That's looking smart already.
It's looking very nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what should we put on next? Okay, well, we can glue the wheel pants on if we really want to. But we're not going to. We might do the wheel pants last.
Okay.
So we'll see what it looks like. Right, next thing is the horizontal stabiliser.
Okay.
Glue the horizontal stabiliser to the fuselage. Use the same contact adhesive method as above. In other words, the same way as you're meant to glue the wheel pants on. So here is the stabiliser. Nice moulding there, again.
Yeah.
Now, another hint for people. Flex the control surface hinge
Right.
before you put it together, because they're always stiff. So give it a good few flexings to make sure she's sweet as a nut. And also while you're at it, you can check the horn to make sure that that's nice and tight,
Yeah.
and make sure that your carbon spar is in there, and it is. Sweet.
Good.
So, plan is, and we'll pre-assemble it just to make sure that it goes together, is that this somehow fits on there, like that, which it does.
Yeah.
Now there's a little bit of moulding flash there. See that there?
Yeah.
That's just holding it proud of the body. So I think we'll just find something to relieve that.
Okay.
I've got the highest bits off it. So we have the wonderful Hobbyking glue here.
There it is.
Hobbyking contact adhesive. So, as with contact adhesive, you put it onto both surfaces.
Do you brush yours on?
I use my finger
Ah.
because I like peeling it all off afterwards for the next 20 minutes. But this stuff strings really quickly.
Yeah. A little bit like the Who Pull.
Yeah, but even quicker than.
Right. So it doesn't give you a lot of work time then? To apply it, that is.
No, as you can see, it's started to
Yeah.
string off there now. It's a nice, just even coat over everything, and we let it go off for a bit.
Okay.
And we've got to do the same with the rear.
It's a nice hefty spar they got going through there.
It is, yeah. It gives the whole thing a bit of strength, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As you can see, this is going off almost instantly.
Yeah,
This
the
is
warm weather.
stringing big time. So try not to get it on your control surfaces, your control rods either.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's gone off already.
Going off like what's it?
That'll come off that one.
It looks like a spider's web,
It
doesn't
does,
it?
doesn't it? Well, if there's any spiders in there, they're going to get crushed in a few moments.
There you go. Right, so we're going to put the horizontal stabiliser on there. We've put our contact adhesive and let it go off for a little while. You can see, nice glistening there. And we've got it on the bottom there as well. So we will insert. This is rather a one go thing.
And plenty of pressure.
Plenty of pressure, as it's a contact adhesive. It needs to make contact. And that's in there.
It's looking
And
good.
we'll just give it a quick kite down there, and that's pissed as anything. So
Bit of sideways.
what I've done in the past is actually use epoxy. Now that's not too far out. But hopefully when we've got to put in the vertical fin.
Yeah.
So hopefully when that vertical fin goes in there,
Get more of an idea.
it'll straighten it up. Which is here. They're nice and loose. Look at that. Now we should have actually put the glue onto here as well at the same time, maybe. So let's see where this has got a contact. stringing off instantly. Yeah, what I've done in the past is use epoxy.
Yeah.
On these, but no, we're going to go with what Hobbyking supply. Because it's plug and fly, so you know everything they supply should work. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've also got to put it obviously on here. There. And down in there if we can get it in. And a good old finger. If you've got small fingers, you're probably lucky.
Yeah.
Oops. See how that strings off instantly? And we're not going to wait around for this one to go off. So we're just going to shove it together. Look down it, give it a kite. It's a little bit out still. There's not a lot we can do about that, sadly. I believe this contact adhesive actually sort of foams and expands
Right.
to fill any little gaps. Or it seems to, put it that way.
The edges look like they're coming together quite neat.
Yeah, it's just a little bit off to one side. Down again. It's close. It's close.
Yeah.
Just a tad out. That could be to do with the twist in this rear fuse there,
Yeah.
because it's so minimal that cool. I think we're happy with that.
Yeah.
Not, we can always fix it after. Right, so we whack that on. Now we're going to put the tiplets onto the horizontal fins, which are these. There they are.
They look nice.
Super. They do look nice, don't they?
Yeah. Just love that. Just out the box smell.
Just out the box smell, yeah. Right, so they've got little extensions here that contact adhesive wants to go on. And we will try, see if we can get a little bit inside. Show willing.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And I think we'll just put it together. They're not so structurally critical, so
Look at that.
they can go in. There's a little bit of squirt coming out there. And that's one in there.
Of course, they supply you with just enough glue.
Just enough, yeah. I was just thinking we've got one more bit to do after this. Let's hope it doesn't run out.
Have you got any more glue, just in case?
Only epoxy. We should be okay. I think the only things we've got to stick on are these little fins that come on the side here.
Right.
So I think we're just going to get away with the glue. There you go, it's all squirted out on the outside.
Lovely.
Lovely jubbly. So there are the vertical fins.
That's looking good.
It's looking nice, isn't it?
Yeah. It certainly
That's
isn't.
a big old tailplane actually. It's a big old plane
Yeah,
in total.
yeah.
Yeah, now the other critical things that have got to go on will be these, but we'll do it to the instructions, so
Okay.
let's not do them yet.
All right.
Oh, and they are next. So, so you see they're joined together by a little bit of foam.
Yep.
They were. Little trick, if you haven't got a knife handy,
A pair of scissors always does the trick.
pair of scissors can trim them up quite nice.
Lovely.
Lovely jubbly. Now, are these handed? We don't know. Stick it in there, see what it looks like. There. So that's got to go in there. And that one has got to go in there. That one's sticking out a little bit. Let's try them that way up. See if that one goes in better. They obviously are handed because that one doesn't seem to want to go in there as well. Okie dokie. So we know they fit, so we can glue them in,
Okay.
which we will do right now.
I wouldn't have thought you'd have needed much glue for those actually. Cause
No, there's no load on them, is there?
No.
The critical thing is obviously the tail.
Yeah.
Don't run out of glue.
I'm always telling the kids to squeeze the toothpaste from the bottom.
There it comes. Just do a bit more over there, a bit more on the end, a bit more on the end. So it's stringing off instantly again. Oops, and it's even stuck to the table. And that's, oops, that is it. It's going in.
Yeah.
Give it a nice good push. Make sure there's not too much glue sticking out.
Looking good.
Looking good. And then the last fin. There's a little bit more of a trim on there. There you go.
Yeah, plenty. Look at that.
See, about 10 seconds after it comes out of the tube, it starts to string off.
Yeah.
So you've got to be so quick with it. Oops. Oh, it's stuck to the table again. There we go.
A little bit of a finger wipe underneath, I think. It's just oozed out.
Yeah, now let's have another quick look down the fuse. Yeah, we're close. It's a little bit leaning overy, but it's close enough. Yeah, it's close enough. Okay, so don't forget to put your top back on your glue, just in case you need that extra little bit at a later date. And what's next? Let's have a look. We stuck them on. Attach the propeller and spinner to the motor shaft.
Ooh,
Now we're getting
the
technical.
nice bit.
Right.
One of the nice bits.
One of the nice bits. Still got 2 screws left over.
Hmm.
I'm sure we'll work out what they're for at some point. Hopefully they're for the spinner.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got a few bits here. Obviously one of the plates for the rotors. Oops. Back plate for the spinner. Front, and this is the button for the top of the rotors, so you can stop the rotors with your hand.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got at the back here. We have an exploded diagram that you're going to need a magnifying glass for.
Alright. Okay. That seems self-explanatory.
We've got that on there, that on there, that on there. The other thing you want to check for is like moulding swarf.
Yeah.
In any critical places, because that'll always stop it going together properly. Obviously the most critical place is up here where that hex is.
Yeah.
As that's going to go right on there like that.
Excellent.
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 And then we're going to put the prop on. Now let's hope that it's not true to form. And nothing fits. Because I do remember, that'll not be the roundest hole in the world in that propeller.
No. Is that flashing or is it
No, that's who knows what that is. That's an oh dear, that's what that is. We won't get too overly excited about it. Right, obviously we need to put a spacer in there because it's rattling around. So hopefully the spacer will bring it into line. Get your spacer, try it on the shaft, find which one fits. That's too loose. That one's just right. So get it in there, shove it up in there.
Lovely.
Slide that on there. Oops, it's popped out.
I always do that.
I always do that here. There you go.
She's in.
Now that, you see, the spinner lines up with the curve of the propeller shaft.
Yep.
Right, then we have a little backplate washer there, which goes on there. And then we have a nut. Now they're using 2 nuts, one nut to lock off the other one.
Right.
Rather than using a nylock.
Right.
Okay. So we'll do that up tight. We'll finger tight it first, make sure. Give it a quick spin. See the back plate's a little bit unstraight, but
that might pull back.
That might pull back. And we'll just tighten that up. Remember, don't do it too tight. We'll just give it a quick spin. See, the back plate's wobbling around. Prop looks like it's tracking fairly straight.
Cool, that's what you want.
And then putting a lock nut on there. Second nut to lock off the first one.
Well, that ain't coming off.
That's coming off, is it? Now we've got a bit of flashing around this this spinner here that could do with a little bit of fettling. Another tip, don't try and cut it, use the blade as a scraper.
Yeah. Also keep your fingers out of the way.
Yep. Remember, knives are dangerous.
Yeah. For our younger viewers.
Yeah. And older ones.
Oh yeah. Very old.
Sorry, Phil. There we go.
It's looking good.
It's a lot cleaner than it was. Now, this is what these second two screws are for. Okay, so we're lining this all up. See, oh look, oh no, he's dropped it.
It's got a screw loose.
Yeah, it's got a screw. Stick it on the end there.
Right.
That's it.
It's on. I'll try and see if I can. There you go. You won't be able to push very hard though because the wheel's going off the edge of it.
There you go. Just remember, screw it in enough just to get it going to start off with. So we want to make sure it all lines up before we tighten it up. Don't do it too tight, of course.
No.
Rotate it around, go the other one. There.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, still a little bit of wobble on the back plate, but
Prop looks true.
it's straightened it up and the prop looks fairly true.
Which is the most important part.
Which is the most important part.
But that's looking sexy already.
It's looking gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, there was one other thing we should quickly do, isn't there? If we remove the canopy here.
Oh yes, always check.
Alright.
Ah,
Oh, it's
hey,
all
presto.
hey presto.
There you go.
Look at that. Not glued. So we need to put a little bit of glue onto those metal strips that hold the canopy on. Because there's nothing worse than them falling off.
No.
Just as you're at the flying field. See, there is a little bit of glue on them, but it obviously,
They've glued one side but skimped out on the other.
yeah, it's just not enough glue to do the job properly, like.
Of course, just in case they leave enough in the tube for this.
Yeah. For errors.
Okay.
That one, well, look, that had just a minimal blob on there. No wonder it never stayed on. Quality control, Hobbyking.
Mm.
There we go.
Excellent.
And that glue is so good. It's just stuck my finger together in 30 seconds. Next part is the blades. Now, Hobbyking, those good people, have assembled one blade onto the blade holder so you can see how it goes, and you've got to repeat it another 2 times. And there is the blade holder for anybody that's wondering whether it's like the other Hobbyking Autogyros or not. And I would say it's not. Now, these blades, as you can see, they're actually foam. They're a foam core with a plastic leading edge strengthener on them. So how long these are going to last with a hit, who knows. Did I buy any extras? No. So there's my confidence.
I wonder if you could swap them out with carbon fibre or woodies later.
I'm sure you could put a different blade on here if you really wanted to. It's quite a weight here. Quite a weight. There's these big nut things. They're quite heavy. It's quite a solid assembly.
Yeah.
Bit of flex in them. Yeah. So let's see. Let's put it together. So we've got to put the other 2 blades in the same as this one.
Right.
Okay. So one presumes we undo this nut first. There we go. Oh, it's a threaded bolt.
Nicely machined too.
Nicely machined in China. And, oh, really simple assembly this. Make sure that you don't push the nut out the bottom. Start it up. Line that up round there. Making sure your blade is obviously going the same way as the other one. Now this one is quite tight, so I presume they did it up with a screwdriver.
Yeah, I assume once it's tight, it still allows it to, yeah.
Yeah. Let's try doing that up tight and see if it does lock off, or whether it still rotates.
Oh, that's good.
So there is some play there. Whether or not it's meant to have that play or not, we don't know. But that is that. I'll do the same to the other one.
Make sure you hold on to your nuts.
Make sure you hold on to your nuts. Put the third blade on, like that. Drop that in there. Screw it up. And we're there. Just tying it up. There we go. And there is a little bit of movement there.
Of course, that centres itself out. I assume.
I would have thought so, with centrifugal force.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we've done that. Let's look at the destructions again. The next thing, slide the main rotor head assembly onto the shaft and then tighten the two locking nuts. So you've got some nuts here, you've got a whole load of nuts.
Lots of nuts.
We've got lots of nuts, which is quite good because the RC Model Geeks are full of them.
Oh yes.
We undo these two nuts that are conveniently nice and loose. And the washer there. Leaving the other two still on there, which should be locked off to each other, which they are. And then there's a hex in the bottom of the rotor head,
Okay.
which is going to sit over that nut.
Right.
Which it does. Washer back on there, and we'll just confirm the assembly. We don't want to lead people down the garden path, would we?
Definitely not.
So we'll spin one of these nuts on here. It will tighten up that nut.
Man, looks fairly tight.
That looks fairly tight to me. And then spin down the locking nut on top of that. Which is there. And lock that off. Oh, slipped out my hand, Gov.
Right, it slipped off.
And then you wind down the button onto the top.
Which turns it into an Apache AH-64 helicopter. Gently.
There you go. And that is the basic assembly
That
of
looks so
the Hobbyking Super G Autogyro.
excellent. That looks so nice.
It looks rather nice. Next thing is we've got to put the radio in.
Right.
Now we're using FR Sky Tyrannus, so we'll be putting in a D8R2 Plus
Okay.
with telemetry, and this will be going in here somewhere. Ooh. Oh, I know what that's for. As you can see, you've got two speed controllers in here. You've got your brushless speed controller, which is there, and that's for the prop at the back. And then you've got a brushed speed controller, which is for spinning up the blades. And that plugs into your balance port on the battery.
Okay.
So let's connect it up, and we'll see what they say about channels and stuff like that.
Okay. So this is the electronics now.
Yes. Now you need 5-channel radio for this, because you need a channel to control the spin up of the blade.
Yeah.
Now we've got a Y lead here, which I presume is going to be for your ailerons. Yeah. Which goes into channel 1 of the radio. Your elevator we've got to find, which is on that side, which we don't really know which one it is, so we'll have a look underneath.
Okay.
We know it's the one on this side, which is that. Oops,
by the rotor.
Which is that wire there. Elevator. Yeah, your throttle, which is on the brushless motor, is in 3, and your rudder, which is here, is on 4, and your pre-rotator, which is this one here. Let me untangle it all. Is on channel 5. We'll leave that out for the moment, because we don't want the blades to spin up while we're fiddle farting around.
Not really, no. No, that wouldn't be a good idea.
Wouldn't be a good idea.
Turn it into a human blender.
That's right. Next thing is to bind the receiver to the radio.
Okay.
Which is what we'll do now with the aid of my glamorous assistant.
Thank you very much.
You hold the battery there. I'll hold that.
Right.
And wait a sec, don't have to push it in all the way, just so that it boots, yeah? No. Okay. Right, go. That should do it. That's enough.
Okay.
And that should be bound. So if we disconnect that now, turn off the bind, plug her back in, and we have one bound.
And that sounds good.
And that sounds like a 4-cell battery.
That does.
So we've got the roll there, which is the wrong way round, and we've got to connect up the that's in the centre. We've got to adjust these horns slightly, clevises.
One.
Slightly off. There you go. And on the elevator, we didn't connect them up before because we needed to centre the servos.
Yeah.
Obviously, before we.
Always centre your servos, guys, before you connect your horns up.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just have to adjust it twice, don't you?
Yeah.
And that looks pretty good there, I would say. That is going to need heat shrink on that.
Yeah.
On that, because it won't clip in.
Radio.
So, but we're roughly connected for the moment, so we can now check the direction of everything. Elevator, up and down is right. Rudder, not a lot of movement there. I think we need a bit more movement on that. Don't you?
Yeah.
So we will put this in. We'll go right to the inside on this one, I think.
Okay. That's better.
That gives a little bit more. It's a little bit off centre. Just screw out a tad more. Yeah, these clevises are very loose, so definitely need some method of holding them together. Otherwise, I think they will come off. There we go, and you've also got a steerable tail wheel down there.
Yeah.
As you can see, which probably needs adjusting as well because it looks like it's slightly off to one side. But that's a minor issue.
Yeah, just a tad of little adjustment.
We've got the head there, as you can see, going from side to side.
That's got quite a lot of movement in there,
That's
hasn't
got
it?
quite a lot of movement. I guess we probably have to adjust that, and that's probably what the jig is for.
Yeah.
So if we go into the page on this, we'll reverse the direction. Of the roll. There we go. So that's the
Right, right. Left, left.
left. Elevator up and down, and we're good to go.
Excellent.
So, the next thing is, should we just run up the motor?
Yeah, make sure she's going the right way.
We'll make sure that we'll put it down here, shall we? Get a bit of sun still. Doesn't sound the smoothest setup in the world, but we can deal with that. It's going to need balancing.
Yeah, definitely balancing.
We'll do that on.
Here we go.
Right, well, the most critical thing with this Autogyro is to set the angle of the rotor head using Hobbyking's custom-made jig. Now, it took us a few minutes to work out how to use it, so we thought we'd explain how you do it. So what you do is, with a jig like this, you can fit it behind the rotor head, basically like that. And then you line the arms up here and here with the 7-degree line, and that's where your trim's in neutral, so there's always a 7-degree offset to the left of the rotor head. Now, if you don't do that, supposedly it can do nasty things on takeoff and roll and horrible things. So that's basically how you use the jig. Set it there, adjust your horn so on your servos so that you get 7 degrees.
Okay.
And it falls on the ground. Ah, right. So what else did we find with this while we were assembling it? Because it's basically finished now.
Oh, the undercover had no magnet.
Oh yes. There's a little hatch underneath. We turn this up this way. This hatch here is missing its magnet and the little metal plate.
Yeah, the magnet goes in there.
Yeah, magnet goes in there.
Wherever my finger is, and then the plate should go onto there.
So that is missing. So we'll have to take that up for now. The other thing we found, well, not found. Yeah, did we cover that earlier? Was we might as well go over it again. Make sure these plates are glued in because they weren't on this one. Also, this canopy is slightly wide. If you plonk it on there, you see that you've got a massive lip here,
Right.
and here, so you could probably heat that up and reform it. It wants to basically go in like that.
Right. Okay.
Or you could maybe get a skewer or something like that and glue it in there so that
Yeah.
it naturally holds it in.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. RC Model Geeks, top tip.
Yeah.
What else have we done? Right, because we're not going to use the spats for the moment, because where we're flying is pretty rough, what we've done to get the CG right is turn the undercarriage round so that the wheels face more forward
Rather than backwards.
which is
Okay.
how you're meant to put it on there. That's just because we're not using the spats. If we put them on, then we'll flip it around later on, but at the moment we just want to fly.
Yeah.
So what else did we find? Prop is very out of balance at the moment. Yeah, it vibrates quite a lot out of the box, so that will need balancing, and we will be doing that sometime very soon, probably after the first flight.
Yeah. Okay.
Because my prop balancer isn't here with me.
All right.
The other thing we found was the clevis We've got one clevis here which will not clip up by itself.
Right.
As you can see there.
Yeah, keeps popping out.
Keeps popping out. So they come with 2 spare clevises, amazingly.
So we could just pop one of those.
So we're going to try one of those, just for a giggle. But don't forget, you should also put some kind of keeper on your clevises anyway.
Yeah, I've got like little tiny cable ties on my big stuff.
Yeah,
other than that,
cable tie them, or a bit of silicone tubing.
Yeah.
Or heat shrink.
Yeah.
In actual fact, because once it's set, once you've got your length set, there's no need to, you know, keep unclipping the clevises.
Yeah, there's one here. Just check, make sure she pops together.
Let's see if this one pops together. Now that one actually grips.
Cool.
So we'll put that on. Right, let's check. Air horn. Right. That's not far out. Clip that in there, and that clips on nicely. It doesn't come off, but like I said, we'll put some something else on there.
Okay.
To make sure. The other thing is, with your rudder in the centre, make sure your tail wheel is pointing straight as well.
Yeah.
As you can see, that one's slightly off there.
Very slightly.
So we'll give that a quick tweak as well. Shouldn't need much, but all this stuff helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Go a little bit more yet. I think that's good to go.
Okay.
And yeah, just make sure all your surfaces are central, and we're good to go. Should we give it a quick spin up on the ground?
Okay.
Just for a giggle, let people see. It starts to bounce around a bit. Got a feeling that the blades are slightly out of balance maybe, but there we go. And then off. After we've flown it, we'll go over it a bit more fully and fine tune it.
Okay.
And if we just quickly do the throttle.
Okay.
But she sounds quite meaty.
Yes, definitely.
So it's ready to go.
Right then. So that's
Oh, the only other thing, if we've got a few seconds left, CG.
C of G. Yeah.
C of G is pretty much about here,
Okay.
which is 415 millimeters. You want to try and get the CG.
Okay.
We've guesstimated it as good as we can. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
And
So-
she's ready to go.
To end with then, that's basically out of the box.
Out of the box and built in an afternoon.
Cool.
And now we're going to fly it this evening.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing that. As for now, don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch you all later.
Indeed.